Maybe many people will wonder when they see the title of this video. Buddhism is vastly compassionate and advocates the joy of helping others. How can it not help? For example, the story of Sakyamuni Buddha records that in the past, the Buddha often endured the humiliation of the deer king hunter. He sacrificed his life for the benefit of all sentient beings. It is true that the Mahayana Jataka Mindfulness Sutra says that undestined compassion embraces all sentient beings, just as all children are equal. Compassion is something that every practitioner should possess. However, there is a distinction between what should be done and what should not be done when doing good deeds and accumulating virtue. This is also the rule of the Buddha. Although the original intention of the precepts is to be compassionate and want to help in everything, it is also persistent. For example, it is not as good as to help when you see a monk knocking on a ritual instrument in a temple. A master once shared a true story about a layman who did something special for charity. 3 big temples have been built to respect the elderly, and the money spent on various good deeds and charity can reach tens of millions. He has a heart problem that his sons have married, his daughter cannot get married, and his wife is also worried about it. She thinks our family does so much charity, why does her daughter not get any good rewards until she met the master one day? According to the master, this girl actually didn't commit any sexual misconduct and looked very decent. The master asked her if there was a classmate who wanted to have an abortion but didn't have the money. You paid for this girl. The answer was that it was because her family was relatively well off and her classmates had no money, so she paid for it. In the end, she said that more than one of her classmates was like this. The teacher said, "What is this called?" It is called helping the tyrants to abuse. She should discourage her classmates from committing adultery before they become pregnant. We should stop our classmates from having abortions instead of paying for them to have abortions. So it is normal for her not to get married. If her family hadn't done so many good deeds, I'm afraid she would not only have been unable to get married, but would have suffered misfortune and serious illness. Reminder, share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever encountered a situation where helping someone felt morally complex? The master also told an example of a woman. She asked her best friend to take medicine to have an abortion at home and then took care of her. It turned out that her best friend had gynecological fibroids. She had just undergone surgery and she also had the same type of fibroids. The location and location of the surgery were exactly the same. The master told her the reason and frightened her. The second protagonist of the story must be in her 40s now. She has a long-term unmarried boyfriend who is living together. She also wants a child, but she can't get pregnant. I think it's because of lust. Then one day, 2 little girls around her got pregnant and they couldn't afford to abort her. A month after she lent money to someone, she was pleasantly surprised to find out that she was pregnant. Unfortunately, even though she protected herself well, she still had a miscarriage a few months later. She still had twins. Somehow she suddenly realized that this was not the case because she paid for someone else's abortion. Is it the retribution for losing a child? Because she is impartial and happens to have 2 children. After this incident, she was exhausted physically and mentally. She even quit her job and her temper became very bad. She often quarreled with her boyfriend. Most importantly, her health became worse and worse. Her face was ugly. Although she didn't believe in Buddhism, she accidentally went to the temple one day. After telling her story, everyone was very moved and asked whether the 2 children were seeking revenge in this way. They all advised her to do more good deeds. There was another one in the past. There is a story about a person who, although she did not commit adultery herself, arranged a matchmaking process for a married woman to meet her first love. After the meeting, she left her house to the 2 of them alone. It is self-evident what they were doing in her house when she went out to live there. Her health, wealth, marriage, and love were all bad. A fortune teller said that because of this incident, her fortune was much worse, and the feng shui of her house was also bad. So when a boy brings his girlfriend home, parents should warn their children. Don't go to bed with others instead of providing convenience. Thinking that this is the beauty of adulthood will actually harm yourself and your children. These are all the examples I have encountered of helping others commit sexual misconduct and aborting babies, and you will receive retribution. Follow the book and teach others to do it. See others do it, and you will be happy with the result. The methods are all the same. It can be funding or providing convenience. So it is really terrible to commit sexual misconduct and have an abortion. Don't help the tyrant. But on the other hand, if you can dissuade it, it is a great merit. There is also a kind of help, but the consequences are terrible and terrible. At the beginning of the year, I went to a supermarket in town to buy something. I heard bursts of firecrackers coming from the street in front of the supermarket. I looked up and saw that someone else had died on this street. The stage was set up in front of a beef shop. This is where life, old age, sickness, and death are meant to be. It was a normal thing, but later I heard from a brother on the street that this person's death was very strange. I went to the second floor to sleep at night and went up the stairs. I didn't know what happened, and suddenly I felt dizzy. I fell down from the stairs and hit the floor with my head. There was no bleeding or anything, and the family members rushed to the hospital for emergency treatment. It was too late to get to the hospital. The deceased's surname was Liu, and he was only in his 50s. Later, we learned more about the specific situation. Liu and his neighbor Han were both butchers. The business of killing cattle and selling beef and opening a restaurant selling beef noodles has been booming for several years. Since the price of beef has been high in recent years, selling beef is a very profitable industry. The two of them are neighbors and partners, and often help each other when killing cattle. Business is good during the Chinese New Year. Sometimes several cows can be killed in a day. People on the street can often see live cows tied up in front of their doors. Since a live cow is relatively expensive, I really want to buy them and let them go, but I can't. There is so much money, so every time I see them, I can only recite Buddha's name and dedicate it to them. At that time, I was thinking that killing animals has consequences, but I have killed cattle for so many years and I have not seen any consequences. Instead, my business is booming and I am making a lot of money. I even wonder if there is any consequence in the world. The day before yesterday, the Han family bought a big, fat black cow. Before killing the cow, they tied its 4 legs with ropes. The cow fell to the ground, and then he took a big hammer and hit it on the back of the cow's head. Generally speaking, the one that killed the most people with hammers was only 3 hammers, but this big black bull was probably strong. Han Mao hit 3 bulls in a row and still lived well as usual. He couldn't help sighing that today was really evil. Could it be that this cow became a spirit? At this time, neighbor Liu came over to help and asked me to come, so Liu picked up a sledgehammer and hit the back of the cow's head hard, hitting it 7 or 8 times. But the cow still looked at them as if nothing had happened. Liu looked at this situation and saw that this was a strange thing that had never happened in his career of killing cows. He wondered in his heart whether the cow had really become a sperm, so he dropped the sledgehammer in his hand. Han went straight back to the house. When he saw that the sledgehammer couldn't kill him, he went back to the house and took out a sharp cattle knife and stabbed the cow's throat hard. The big black cow struggled in pain and broke the rope that tied the cow's leg. In the panic, a cow kicked Han with its front hoof. It happened to hit Han's calf and broke his leg bone on the spot. In the end, although the cow was killed, Han's leg was also broken and he was admitted to the hospital. At night, Liu, a certain person, went to the second floor to sleep. Halfway through, he suddenly became dizzy and fell down the stairs. The back of his head hit the ground and he was killed instantly. For thousands of years, cattle have been the most important production tool for farmers. They eat the poorest grass and do the heaviest work. They have been cultivated from generation to generation and have fed humans between heaven and earth for thousands of years. We should be grateful to cows. The ancients said, slaughtering cattle and not eating beef shows that the ancients were very respectful and grateful to cattle. If there is no trade, there will be no killing. If everyone does not eat beef, many cattle can be saved from being killed. At the same time, many tragedies can be avoided in the world and a lot of peace can be added to the world. To sum up the same principle, you must be cautious about some things in life that seem to be helpful to others. They may not only have no merit, but also make your luck worse. The first type of obstacles, evil friends, do not help obstacles, that is, obstacles to practicing the Mahayana Bodhisattva path. Evil friends are also called evil friends. Compared with good friends, they are the most harmful to our good roots and wisdom. The Avatamsaka Sutra says that everything in the Dharma realm is created only by the mind. According to Buddhism, all the situations around us are manifestations of the mind. The Saha world is a shared karma of all sentient beings. Being close to evil knowledge and even helping them create evil karma is actually an obstacle to our own practice. Therefore, when evil friends create karma, we can encourage them to plant the seeds of Buddhahood for them within the scope of our own blessings and wisdom. If a friend disobeys us, we should feel ashamed and always dedicate it to him in our future practice. May he return to the right path soon. Do not help evil friends to create karma. We should cherish our good roots and wisdom. The second kind of help has ignorance of cause and effect. What is cause and effect? It is said in The Theory of Great Wisdom that because it can produce fruit, it is what we usually call what we sow melons, sow beans, and reap beans. Cause and effect is the cornerstone of all Buddhist teachings. So you plant, so you reap. Every karma planted in the past is here. When the causes and conditions mature, they will be repaid one by one. No one can change the so-called karma of being invincible by magical powers. The Sakyamuni tribe was retaliated by King Liuli. When Buddha Sakyamuni taught about this karma, he said that King Liuli was humiliated by the Sakyamuni tribe in the past. Since it has been sown, it cannot be changed, so even if the Buddha appeared 3 times to persuade him, he still could not change Liuli King's determination to take revenge. The third kind involves the word love. Don't help. From the perspective of Buddhist principles, the emotional attachment of human beings can be said to be the heaviest among the 6 paths. For example, family, friendship, teachers and students, etc. These kinds of emotions are collectively referred to as karma in the Buddhist scriptures. Why do you say that you should not help people who are involved in love? The Kshitigarbha Sutra says that all living beings have their own karma and karma in their past lives. The relationships between people gather and disperse according to karma and karma. It is impossible for outsiders to intervene in birth and death. For example, the old woman from the East Gate in the classics had no respect at all when she saw the Buddha. Instead, she sincerely took refuge in the Buddha after meeting the Venerable Ananda. The Buddha said that the cause and condition for the old woman's conversion matured with the Venerable Ananda. And I have not been with the old woman for countless kalpas. Once, a lay practitioner who participated in a blind date asked me if I was destined to be with him. I could only answer truthfully according to Buddhist principles. I was ashamed and really couldn't help. I just asked you if you still have any thoughts. If you have thoughts, it means we are destined. From this point of view, as a practitioner, not helping these 3 kinds of help is not unkind, but using prajna wisdom to benefit oneself and others. Some people have become super good people after practicing Buddhism. When they see others in trouble, they immediately get excited and rush to help. He doesn't care whether others need his help or whether his helping will disturb other people's lives. Anyway, he must help and must care because he stubbornly believes that he is a practitioner and has the energy to help others. In fact, others do not need his help, he just needs other people's difficulties. Only when others have difficulties can he have the opportunity to show his cultivation skills. Only when he sees others crying can he have the opportunity to see the beauty of his life. Of course, the most important thing is that when he helps others, he thinks he can help others. Accumulate your own virtues. Most people's top priority when something goes wrong in their lives is to calm down, and the problem will be solved if you calm down. If you really want to help others, you should calm down. Your calmness and tranquility can make the other person feel safe and feel that life is still the same. Buddhism always teaches people to look inward. Only when you have this awareness can you have real wisdom and always look at your own heart. Only in this way can you reach the state of ultimate nirvana. I encourage all fellow practitioners to let all living beings live with wisdom and gentleness. With a joyful heart, all living beings can become Buddhas. Buddhas are in our own hearts. You and I are all future Buddhas. Thank you for reading to the end. If today's sharing has gained you something, please like it and give me a response. Reply with a prajna wisdom and wish for mankind. May everyone be healthy, long-lived, disease-free, happy and happy. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please click the subscribe button on the screen to connect with me. Join me as a member. Let's cultivate blessings together. Rejoice and forward the merits.